Hey guys, Tate here. We get the question all the time, how at home can I deepen my back bends? How can I open up my chest? How can I stretch my shoulders, get more flexibility in the shoulders? How can I lengthen my hamstrings out a little bit more at home? So we thought we'd do a video because it's a lot easier on video to go through some of our props that we use at home to help you. So if you want to pick up some of these, you can take them home and work and further your practice. So we'll first start just the tried and true yoga strap. We use Mandukas here at the studio. They're very versatile. They're very good for opening up shoulders. They're very good for opening up hamstrings. And the reason why I say that is this yoga strap here has a lot of versatility. You know, for example, if you want to work shoulder mobility, you can reach the arms out. And maybe you keep them straight, slowly take them back. Slowly come forward, work in the mobility. Now, if your shoulder's on the tighter side, you have 8 feet. Obviously, not everybody's arms are 8 feet, but you have 8 feet of strap to take your arms as wide as you need to comfortably come up and back, keeping the elbow straight. Also, with the nice yoga strap, is you can take it into a bind. So if you're in Gomukhasana arms, you're going to take your right arm back. You'll see it's an extension of the arm. The strap really is just an extension of the arm. The left arm out to the left, turn the thumb down, bend the elbow. Now I can find the bind, work the stretch to deepen the opening of my left shoulder. Because if you can't find your fingers, a lot of times you just sit here and most people are like, this isn't really doing anything for me. So what the strap allows you to do is it allows you to find the bind when your natural flexibility doesn't allow you to do so. So you're just going to work this bind and then eventually work the down till the fingers touch. With the hamstrings, right, if you're coming on your back and you want to work a reclined version of hand to big toe pose, you'll take the strap, loop it around your foot. I actually like to loop it around the ball of my foot because when I flex the ball of my foot, I get a little bit more stretch in the back of the heel, the back of the calf. I'm going to take it with my right hand and my left, and I'm just going to draw it in. Now, a lot of people think I can grab my big toe, and they come back here and their shoulders are lifted. You really want your shoulders all the way down to the mat because you get a lot of tension in the neck in the neck and the shoulders if your shoulders are lifted. And you want it completely relaxed and just to focus on the hamstring. So from here, I would just release my hand, grab my strap, bring my shoulders all the way down. Now it's more comfortable. I can focus here on my hamstring. I can take my leg out, holding on to the strap. I can take my leg the other way, here. The strap's just, again, it's an extension of the arm. It allows you to come in here, deepen your hamstring stretch without forcing yourself into it and also without straining yourself. Now there's a great strap out there that I like to use. I like to use it in my personal practice just because I know my personal practice a little bit more. It's not as versatile as the other strap, but it's less fabric, right? So it's called the infinity strap. They have different sizes, but what the infinity strap is basically is just 2 loops making the infinity sign. I guess it's 1 loop making the infinity sign into 2 loops. But like when I come into the Gomukhasana here, right, there's less fabric. I know I don't need as much of the strap with my shoulders, so I can use this strap here. I'm not dealing with all this fabric dangling. I'm trying to figure out which side is which. Another thing about this is if you're working like king pigeon or king dancer, this is just so much easier to just take it, loop it around the foot, grab onto the other loop, pull the arm forward. Again, you're not dealing with less fabric. But again, the limits are if you aren't as open, it's a lot more difficult because you're straining yourself to try to get into it. So the other strap is perfect for every different bind, every different exercise to work with, every different level of flexibility. This one here is a little more limited, but I prefer it because I know my body, I know I can get into things with the limitations of this strap. Another thing about this strap too is if you're working, and I'll show it with the other strap too, because this one here is a little too narrow for my shoulders. But if I'm working towards my crow, or if I'm working towards my crow press, my hands are here. Now my elbows can't go wider, so they stay in. My bones are stacked. I'm protecting my joints. What happens a lot of time in crow, when you're pressing up to a handstand or you're just working a plank pose, is your elbows go wide, right? And what you want is your elbows to wrap in, stay in, so the serratus and the lats get engaged on the side body. So when I'm up here, again, a lot of times the elbows want to come out. When the elbows go out, I lose all the strength. I want to wrap in here. What this does is it allows you to find the balance by keeping the elbows stacked. You still want to work the engagement here in the lats and the serratus and keep wrapping elbow creases forward. But this strap here, again, if you have wider shoulders, they do make a wider one. They also make a flexible one, which is good for, I would say, flexibility. But if you're working strength like crow, like crane, like crow to handstand, this one, you don't want to get in the flexible side, the flexible infinity strap, because it has a little bit of a bend, kind of a flex to it, which your elbows then can go out. So again, with this one here, I would just take the strap, loop it around, take it shoulder width distance or slightly narrower. You don't want it wider, because again, we're trying to find the elbows underneath the shoulders. So we're here. And with the strap, we want to take it right above the elbows. But you see, I have all this fabric I have to deal with, which is why I really like the infinity straps. But they're really good for versatility. So again, I plant my hands, come into my crow here. Maybe I'm going to come into dolphin pose. Again, this keeps the shoulders wrapping in. It allows me to walk in and press out and build the strength. Right now, my elbows don't widen. They stay here. So again, straps are really good for hamstrings and for shoulder opening, for binds, and all that. I do love blocks, and the reason why I love blocks is they're very versatile as well, but they just allow you to take poses deeper. They allow you to get stability in a pose so you can feel the full benefits of the pose. Because let's go half moon, for example. A lot of times in half moon, you'll see someone here just kind of shaking and wobbling, and they're kind of collapsed, their hips rolling in. You want the pose to be fully expanded, and if they're on a block, they can find a little bit more stability. Obviously, I'm not leaning into this block and pressing down, but now I can open up here as I wobble. But as I open up here, I now can expand, I can roll open and find the full benefits of a long spine, of a reaching through the back heel, lifting out of the arms. I can get the full benefit. Same thing with the revolved half moon, right? I have a little bit of weight into the block. I can find more length and lift through the chest. It's going to allow me to twist open and press into my big toe mount instead of trying to fight the wobble. Another thing with the blocks for shoulders, they're really good because they give you a little bit of height. Let's say in our anahata, with our elbows on blocks and our hands in prayer, it allows us to press the heart through. But you can also bring the blocks down at any level. Again, they have 3 different levels to work with. You can help support in a bridge pose. You can use them to help strengthen your back bends by engaging the inner thighs, allowing you to use the glutes to press the hips up a little bit more. Very versatile. I recommend having 2 of these. Again, I used them a lot on my shoulders. And then at the wall, you can also use blocks at the wall to help your wheel pose. The wall is great because it allows you to, it can help you in your back bends. It can help you in using shoulder mobility as well as working your hamstrings. A hamstring stretch that I really love that helped me a lot is I would come here, Viparita Karani. Again, I place my butt up against the wall. Right, my butt's all the way there. I can use the wall, and maybe I'm just going to stay right here if I feel a lot of stretch in my hamstrings. I'm just going to enjoy it, keeping the inner thighs spinning towards each other. And then for me, what I used to do, and I'd spend about 4 or 5 minutes every night doing this, I'd take my legs wide into a straddle. Keep my butt up against there, and I would just hold this. And every 30, 45 seconds, I might work one heel down, work the other heel down, and I would just sit here and I'd watch TV, or maybe I'd just listen to my TV because I can't really watch the TV unless my TV's over there, maybe I'm here, right? But I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this, feel the stretch of the inner thighs, the hamstrings, and I'm just going to lay here using the wall as support, again, inching my feet. If your feet get kind of stuck to your wall, you can always use socks on the wall. That's always helpful. But I would sit here for about 4 to 5 minutes every night, and I noticed a huge gain in my hamstring flexibility. I used to have really tight hamstrings from all the basketball I would play, and so the wall was really helpful. Another thing with the shoulders, what you can do is you can work shoulder like a wall clock. right? You would keep your arm up here, right? You hold it, and you take your arm back a little bit, right? You want to have a few inches between your hip and the wall, and then work it back. Keep pressing the heart forward, and then you just keep working all the way down here, right? You can do it kneeling, you can do it standing, but you just work, 5 or 6 breaths each position of the hand. Another great tool, and you can do this in a yoga class or you can do this at home, is you take your 2 blocks, and a lot of times in wheel where a lot of people get stuck is that first about 4 to 6 inches getting their head off the mat. And what the blocks do here is they give you a little bit more height. You maybe have heard a teacher say, if you want to use my ankles, or maybe you've used a teacher's ankles to kind of give you a little bit more height. These blocks kind of do the same thing. So what you want to do is you want to set your block shoulder width distance, so come onto your backs. Again, shoulder width distance, maybe slightly wider. Your head down, just like you would for wheel. You place your hands on your mat, fingertips drape over the block. And then what I'll do is I press into my heels and my feet first, get the hips up, and then I press my hands into the mat. And then if I want to take it deeper, I press my chest towards the mat. But I'm extending through the arms, elbow creases wrapping, pressing up. You can also use them to give you a little bit more height, and the wall's also good to start to work your walk up, and then also work your drop backs, right? Come in here. And then slowly lower, down. There's also a few things with the hamstrings you can do to keep the legs a little bit straighter. What you can do is to ground your heels and then just kind of walk your feet, keeping your butt against the wall. You can also do this in a door jamb. The door jamb actually works better, so what you would do is you'd place your head, or it'd be kind of like this. It's a little bit easier. But if you're in your door jamb, you just kind of keep lowering the chest, keep the back against the wall, straighten out the legs as much as possible. But the door jamb just allows you to kind of grab either side and pull. But you can still do it against a wall as well. And then last but not least, my favorite yoga prop, my favorite yoga tool is this Dharma. This is a Dharma wheel, but any yoga wheel will work. What they're designed to do is to help open up the chest, to help open up the lower spine, and just to roll out to kind of release any tension in the spine. So every morning when I wake up, I kind of find my wheel, I sit down, I place it at my lower back, I lift my hips, and then I'll just sit here, roll it out, move my arms to try to find a good position. But this just kind of helps, again, loosen the tension, loosen up the muscles a little bit. And then what you can also do with the wheel is come into a supported bridge. And you can use a block underneath here as well. I'm still squeezing my inner thighs and pressing through the inner heels and the big toe mounds. And I'm just going to soften here, opening up. But the one exercise with my wheel that helped me the most is I helped me open up my thoracic and my shoulders. And the thoracic spine is your upper spine. It's where you want to be bending in a back bend rather than from your lower. What the wheel allows you to do is that you can press it right into your upper spine, lift your hips, come over, just so you can kind of lift up over the thoracic, open up the chest, and then you can kind of just drop your hips down a little bit. Now the bend is in my upper spine, I feel no tension in my lower spine, and I'm just here. My arms maybe are here, maybe I take my hands in prayer. I'm kind of in acro, they call this a flying whale position. So you're here. Again, I'm feeling a nice opening through the chest and the upper back. And then for me, what just took me to a whole new level in my back bends, I would grab the block, I'd keep it under my thoracic, grab it with my hands, and then I would come over, keeping my chest on the block, feeling the stretch in my shoulders, my biceps wrapped towards each other. And I would hold it here. And then when I got a little bit more mobility, I'd try to press my hips a little bit closer to the wheel, bringing a little bit more down the back onto the wheel. And then I'd slowly get the entire back onto the wheel. And then I would come all the way down, shoulders down, walk the feet in, and I would just sit here and hold this for minutes. And this right here just helped me open up. And I'm naturally opening up. I'm not straining anything. This isn't you don't want to strain. you use the wheel here and see how it's supporting my entire spine, but it's allowing me to open up my thoracic, my upper spine, as well as my shoulders. So again, these are just some of the props that we use. There's many different stretches. These are just touched on a handful of them. But if you're very serious about your home practice, I would recommend 2 blocks. I'd recommend a strap, and by all means, a yoga wheel. Like I said, that's my #1 favorite thing to open up back and shoulders. If you want deeper back bends, a wheel is huge, in my opinion. So yeah, thank you. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.